The freestyle game is kind of like for the underground artists. For those that's beginning, it's good that you know how to freestyle and battle, because then at that point it's not about money, it's about proving yourself to other people, gaining respect. Once you get in the industry, it really doesn't matter if you can freestyle or not, it's all about writing hot songs. So if you got the hot lyrics, the hot beats, you put it all together, got the right package, the right person, you get legends like that. Freestyle battling never meant anything for Rakim. You know, he was just nice. He just wrote things that no one understood until it was too late, you know. He was futuristic. There's other people out there. LL had battles with Kumo D, but it wasn't about freestyling, it was on wax. So, you know, it just depends on what medium you're in. If you're in the underground and you're trying to get respect, that's how you get it, battling, ciphering, amongst friends, amongst whoever. But once you get mainstream, freestyling really doesn't matter. Underground makes the mainstream step up their game. They'll hear some underground music and they may not necessarily do it like them, but they'll hear a style and they'll be like, wow, that's crazy. And then they'll incorporate it into what they're doing. Underground music, you need underground music because underground music makes the mainstream more competitive. Mainstream's not competing against each other so much, you know, because they already know what they need to do to make a hot song. You know, 8 bar, 16 bar, you know, 4 bar hooks, things like that. They know what it takes to make a hit song, but they want to make superstars. And the only way you're gonna make a superstar is somebody who can actually rap. And the people who can actually rap are those that are in the underground. They just need somebody from the mainstream to come and get them and show them how to make hit songs. So underground rap makes mainstream step up their game.
The underground circuit is really all the biggest cats in rap came from the underground circuit. And nowadays you get to where you got guys with street credibility that's selling millions of records. So kind of like the underground is the springboard for the commercial rap. If it wasn't for the underground, these guys wouldn't have nowhere to spring from. These guys had to play around their neighborhoods and, you know, in the little bars with the open mics and things like that to test the skills to prepare them for a commercial world where they would have some credibility and, you know, some authentic work.
It would be a hip-hop game without the underground experience. If you lose the streets, that's when it becomes a fad, and that's when it just evaporates and disappears off the face of the earth, because everything is ruled by the streets. If you don't get your hands dirty on the streets, people are not going to have respect for you in this game. I've been, you know, doing the underground thing for a couple of years now. I've had the opportunity and privilege to work with some incredible artists on the underground light, one of them being Juice out of Chicago. He's the legendary freestyle battler that beat Eminem in 2 freestyle battles. He never lost a freestyle battle from 1990 to the year 2000, 10 years, going back and forth, Rap Olympics, Blaze battles, everything, Wake Up Show, everything. I've had the opportunity to work with incredible artists that are now starting to emerge on the scene, on the commercial scene. You know, everybody looks at them like they're new in the game, but just like you said, nobody's really new in the game, and the people that are the true superstars and artists that are coming out are the ones that have paid their dues in the underground. You can't get anywhere without the underground. If you don't have the streets behind you, you're lost. You're so lost. You're Will Smith. You're gone.
Russell Simmons meant everything to hip-hop culture. Everything. He's the one. If it wasn't for Russell Simmons signing Run DMC, Beastie Boys, LL, who knows where it would have been? You know, Curtis Blow and all that. Who knows where it would have been? You know, he's. If you look at anything, you would say Russell mainstreamed it. Russell put it out there. You know, there's other people that just put hip hop together, but on the level of mainstreaming it, if it wasn't for Russell, it wouldn't be here.
Russell Simmons is a guy that he was the first visionary to see how much money hip hop could make. Russell Simmons took it to the world he took what he loved in his heart and the desires to see, you know what I'm saying, his kids and the people around him enjoy something that he loved. He took that and he showed it to the world. So Russell Simmons had the business mind and the hustle and all that you need to take rap to a level where it can be seen on a global level. Run DMC, I mean, with Run DMC, and then you had Russell, and then guys like LL Cool J, and all those old guys. Russell seen those guys for what they were, and then he took them, a bunch of street kids, you know what I'm saying, and then he took them and he made them on a scale that nobody thought it could ever cross over to. So as far as that goes, Russell Simmons is hip hop in a lot of ways.
Russell Simmons is hip hop. I mean, he is the spokesman of hip hop. You know, he brought the Beastie Boys, he brought Run DMC, he brought LL Cool J to the table. You know, he molded the culture into what it is today. You know, him along with like KRS-One. Really, they are like the godfathers of hip hop, really, honestly, and I respect him totally. And I love how he has grown from being just a label head to being a spokesman for the hip hop community and taking control of the power that we really have vested in our culture, in our spending power, and our buying power, and our political power, and has taken that to the next level. I hope Russell Simmons runs for president.
Commercials going hip hop. Hip hop is always evolving. You know, it's always points of hip hop you're not gonna like. Like when you had Planet Rock, you know, and other groups back then, you know, who was it, African Bambaataa, when they were doing their thing, that was one type of hip hop. It was flashy, you know, but then you had other people that came out that were just grimy and they were street, you know, and then it evolved into another thing. Then it kind of got flashy again by the time Big Daddy Kane came around, and then it, you know, kind of went grungy again. It just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. So to say hip hop is never going commercial, ever. If you listen to the music, you could say, oh, P. Diddy's doing this, you know, Jermaine Dupri's doing this, but to me it's just, it's evolving, you know what I'm saying? I can't see hip hop being commercial. The people outside of it make it commercial. They take it in and they do things with it and make it commercial. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop will never be commercial.
Has hip hop become commercial or has commercial become hip hop? I would say mainstream has become hip hop. Because I was just reading something the other day to where, you know, like this new show that's on TV, Platinum, you know, people talking about it down in Platinum, you know, because it's on TV, but you have to understand that we've never had a show like that on that level, you know what I'm saying? So when Russell Simmons was talking about it, you got to look at the opportunities this is giving to our people, to our young actors, to our young film directors, you know what I'm saying? So we more or less, like I said, we're getting into everything. You know what I'm saying? I would say hip hop is somewhat like a virus, to where, you know, it started here and it's just infiltrating everything, to where people have to accept it. They have to adapt to it. In order to sell things nowadays, you have to have a hip hop beat. You know what I mean? Even this new alternative music that's coming from the whole heavy metal that was back in the day, all has hip hop influences, hip hop beats, and you know, every commercial you see on TV has hip hop beats to it, or they try to have people rapping on there, you know, and different things like that. So I would say hip hop is taking over the commercialism, and I don't think it can get ever too commercial, because what did you want it to stay in the underground?